I know it says by graphing. We're not going to graph today. Okay, when we get into graphing, we're going to actually graph with two variables. We're not going to graph with one variable, which is what the assignment entails today. And so real quick, we're going to define a few terms just so that when we actually do get to graphing, you are familiar with those terms and they aren't new. And then we're going to solve the rest of the equations by hand and solve those algebraically. So first of all, a linear function is nothing more than a line. Okay, when you hear linear, that means line. It's just a fancy way to say line. And so if I graph this, notice what I have. I just have a straight line. When it says the domain and the range, the domain is like your x's. That's your left to right. Your range is your up to down. Okay? And so the domain is all real numbers, the range is all real numbers. That means it goes as far left as the graph can go, and as far right as the graph can go, as far down as the graph can go, and as far up as the graph can go. So we're going to define what a root and what a zero are. So first of all, a root is a solution of an equation. It is any value that makes the equation true. A linear equation can have one root or zero roots. Okay? So it can't have any more than one, but it can have zero. A zero is a value of x for which the function equals 0, and that's what you're going to be finding today. It is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So up here in this graph right here, what would the 0 be? What would the 0 be? It would be what? Somebody said it, say it louder. 0, right? Because doesn't it cross the x-axis at 0? Yeah, so that's the 0. So that's what we're going to be finding today. So I've got a problem up here on the board. I want you to go ahead and use your expressions to enter the solution to that right now. Some of you might need to write it down, some of you might not. Okay. It's just a basic two-step equation. So I just want to know what x equals to make that statement true. So let's see what we got here. The answer is 3. Nice job. Okay? So basically what you're doing here is you're subtracting 6. So you should have got negative 2x to equal negative 6, and then you're dividing by negative 2. Okay, so negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. All right, let's look at another one. I want you to answer this one as a decimal. Okay, as a decimal. Point 0.5, nice job. Okay, so where we get 0.5 is we're going to add 2 to both sides. So you end up getting 4x to equal 2, and then you divide both sides by 4. Now this is one of those things that if you reduce 2/4 down, you get 1/2. Okay, we know that 1/2 is equivalent to 0.5. All right, this one, let's look up here on the board. Now whenever I have two variables, do we remember what the very first step to do was? Yeah? Subtract what? Right, remember our first goal is to get rid of the variables. We want to combine those so that we only have one. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides. So on the left, what do you get? 8. On the right, what do we get? Negative 5. So what's my solution here? No solution, because those do not equal each other. Now, if I would have had 8 equals 8, what would my answer have been? All real numbers. Okay, so when you get a true statement, it's all reals. When you get a false statement, it's no solution. All right, here you go. Multi-step equation. Okay, answer is -3. Okay, so why did we get -3? Well, first of all, you should have combined your x's. So if I subtract x from both sides, I get 2x plus 19 equals 13. Okay, then you subtract your 19. You should get 2x to equal -6. Divide by 2, you should get x to equal -3. So remember, the first step is to combine your variables. All right, and then we take care of the numbers. All right, last problem. Let's go. -9x minus 3 equals -4x minus 3. Answer is 0. Nice job, those of you that got that. You should have ended up getting -5x minus 3 equals -3. If you add 3 to both sides, you end up getting -5x equals 0. Okay, biggest thing here is if you divide by -5, 0 divided by any number is always going to be 0. All right, so now, this is your assignment. Now, real quick, we need to talk about your assignment. Okay, because your book is going to give you instructions. This is how they want you to do it wrong. Okay, my instructions are I just want you to solve these algebraically. And what does that mean? That means exactly as we just got done doing in class. So all you have to do is solve the equation, solve it algebraically, just like we did it in class today. Okay, so hopefully you should be able to get most of it done, if not all of it now with the remaining time.